you, Niyaal?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. I'm glad to have you back. The people loved you. Okay, so I have a question, a hard question,
Lord.
straight out the gates.
Again. Okay.
I mean, the last question was, who's your... Who do you hate most?
We're going to foster peace this time. We're going to talk about nice things.
Sure. We're going to try. So, the question is, do you think that identity politics have become a distraction from the class war and from the working class and the struggles of the working class?
Yes.
Cool!
Yes, I do.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to feel like identity politics are just kind of a way for people to become more divisive and to put groups against each other.
Which kind of groups are you referring to?
Lots of groups. Everybody's just put against each other at the moment. Everybody's just if you're on this side, you're not friends with me. If you're on that side, you're not friends with me.
Yeah. I think it's also embedded in in cancel culture, where you're either, if you're not on this side of me, you're on the other end, and therefore I can't with you anymore. There's no conversation around coming to understand why each side moves the way they do.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think also there's no difference between critiquing someone and their ideology, their belief system, and just being I hate you, I hope you die, I want this genocide of your people. Yeah. There's nothing of the sort. There's just no complexity in the way that we think about any of these things anymore. It's quite depressing.
Yeah. If you say anything contrary to what is the narrative of someone else's mindset, you're immediately attacking what they are thinking and their person.
Even if you just question it.
Yeah.
If you're just well,
why
maybe,
do you? Or tell me more about this. It's oh, now you're attacking me
and you're calling for the genocide.
Relax. Take a pause. I want to understand you so that I can navigate this friendship or this relationship or interaction better.
Yeah. And I also don't think that I think the lines have become so blurred where it's saying something where you maybe misstepped, you didn't mean to say it in the way that you did, and then saying something purposefully to be hurtful towards someone, and then calling for the violence and murder and wanting those people to die. There's no segmentation between those things. It's if you misstep and if you make a mistake, you are immediately calling for violence against a specific group.
But there are exceptions to that, not unfortunately, but there are exceptions. If someone says something racist, it's racist.
Yeah, fully. Yeah. But even in an instance like that, I'm not 100% sure whether somebody being racist is the equivalent of them being I want all black people to die. Maybe not, but there is some unlearning to be done. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know, I feel it's difficult to have these conversations online, especially Instagram, Twitter. They do not foster dialogue, really.
No.
It's too short for you to have a proper conversation.
Yeah.
But I was telling you I was reading Nietzsche.
Just light reads. Just before bed.
It's not at all light reading.
Just light reading before bedtime.
Yeah, no, but that I do read Nietzsche before bedtime.
What?
After I've taken my meds and I'm in a dwell and I'm semi high off the benzos. Then I'm let me sit down and read some Nietzsche.
Okay.
Because then I'm
got me some Nietzsche bars.
So he basically said that we will get to a point in society where we no longer judge people by their actions, but by the morality of their intentions. So when you see
That's very Islamic if you think about it.
Nietzsche's a Muslim! I'm telling you! At the end of the day, all of these philosophers end up doing is becoming slums. Basically. I'm just be honest and say you gran a lot. Yeah. Just be honest. Come to the team.
Yeah.
But, so he was saying that, people will no longer be judged on what they actually do, but they will rather be judged by what you perceive their intentions to be. Not even their actual intentions, but what you perceive their intentions to be.
That's a slippery slope.
Very. And it's scary.
Because how are we to know what someone's true intentions are?
But how many times have we not seen examples of people where they do something cancelable and they come out and they say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like this. This is what I meant, da da da. And
Always
then it's
the
like,
case.
no, you hate people and you want everybody to die. That's what you said. You said that you hate things.
But I don't think that's like, because then that's also just a one-way exchange. Like, I say something, I get cancelled for it, the end. The way to reform something is to learn a better way forward to avoid making the same mistake again. So there's something to be done like thereafter, like after the cancelling happens.
Guys, sometimes it's also a PR stunt.
You reckon?
Give me an example of a PR stunt like that.
Just repeat what I'm saying into the mic so that they know what I'm saying. Like when
Sadiq saying it's a
people
PR
have
stunt
to,
sometimes.
apologize for doing something, then it's like, oh I'm sorry, and like drugs does this to me, and I came from this type of home, and it's like they'll give you a long story to sob you up into.
But this is also where like identity politics kind of like comes into play, where if you say something like the baby, for example, it's the baby, not
baby.
not the baby,
the
baby.
baby, not little baby, the baby.
Yeah, no, that's a different.
So he was like on stage singing homophobic shit about like AIDS and whatever.
Oh yes, I remember this.
So he then came out and was like, I didn't mean it like this, whatever. He made excuses for what he was saying, he apologized, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But then what that ended up doing was that there was a group of people that were like, fuck you, we hate you, cancel. And then there was another group of people that were like, yeah, but he's making a point though. And that's where like the divisiveness and like the identity politics comes in, where you can't even misstep without people like jumping on the bandwagon being like, no, but you shouldn't apologize because you were right in doing that, and like da.
But we are cancelling the baby, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
Because like he did stand with what's that guy who shot Megan Thee Stallion?
Tory.
Yes, him. Yeah, and he also like he left his baby mama. Yeah, he's cancelable. Like, okay,
Yeah,
we can cancel the baby and Tory.
Doesn't look like Tory Lanez is gonna go to jail, right?
Doesn't it?
No.
What is the situation there? Under what circumstance do you shoot Meg Thee Stallion in the foot?
But
I blame Kylie Jenner entirely. I blame Kylie Jenner. She was there.
She was there.
Yes, bro. Like,
No.
what was happening in that limousine? Like, what was happening?
I can. So they had an altercation,
Okay.
and basically, whatever happened after that is dick in the air.
Yeah.
Because,
Nobody will know what
Yeah.
on. But what we do know is that
He
he
got
shot
shot.
her in the foot. In the foot, no?
Yeah, Megan got
Yes.
shot, and
Why didn't Kylie get shot?
Should have been Kylie.
There's so much to her that you could shoot and it like wouldn't even.
She just
There's so much
padding.
Yeah.
Silicone.
that you wouldn't even feel it. But
Yeah.
he shot Meg in the foot or so.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
I think she was trying to get out of the limousine, and then it just like bleh, bleh,
Let me take
and
it to
then
Google.
lit up the whole block.
If I'm honest though,
Of the
like
foot.
I would want to be shot in the foot rather than anywhere else in my body.
Yeah, at least she lived to tell the tale, which isn't the case for other victims
Yeah.
of abuse and violence against women.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tory Lanez violated a protective order against Megan Thee Stallion, so his bail has been increased. But as
Increased.
Yeah, like it's more money for him to get out of jail.
Yeah,
Like
but
he's strapped for
as
cash.
far as like going to jail for the actual act,
Yeah.
that's still very much in the air. So
But you see,
Yeah.
that's again, it tells the line between what's cancelable and what isn't. Tory Lanez, in the same breath, Chris Brown should be in jail.
No, that homie needs to go.
They
He
need-
needs to go.
We don't need any more samples of 90s music. Just go to jail. He
Yeah.
should go to jail for that alone.
He isn't even doing. Like the last hit he gave us was what? Loyal?
whoa.
I don't even know.
Whoa.
I don't even know what Chris Brown is
The
doing.
point is, man's like abused Rihanna and then went to go and like he choked some girl in a club.
He choked a girl in the club. His ex, Karusha Tran, she also has a restraining order against him. He's
Oh
a
my
menace
goodness.
to women and society on the whole.
He needs to go.
He's not even a good dancer. For
Not
crying out
anymore.
loud.
Street stylists can do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
No, he
see,
needs to
that's
go.
there you can see there's no way to learn. Like, there's no teaching somebody a
No.
different way because they're not interested in reform. They're just going to continue doing the same
I
things
also
they're
found
gonna
it
do.
like very astounding for him to go from like abusing a woman very publicly,
Yeah.
having the whole thing
He
happen.
said, and I quote, "I'm going to kill you now."
Yeah. All of that happens, and then he makes a song called Loyal, and he's like, these hoes ain't loyal. I'm like, my friend!
Neither are you.
They don't have any reason to be loyal.
Yeah.
Just because that you taking them to Dubai and giving them new tits.
And then he has like
ah.
another, like, because I think that's on that album. Is it the X album? And then there's also a love ballad on that album, and I'm like, Chris Brown.
Okay, but
What
then
are you
again, like,
doing?
New Flames is a trifle.
Yes, because Asha and Rick Ross.
Rick Ross. Rick Ross is always carrying people, you know.
No
Always.
guidance is a trifle.
What?
No guidance is a trifle.
Is it though?
No, come on. No. It's the one song that people ignore.
I feel like if Drake didn't hop on that track and it didn't have a good music video, would have flopped.
No!
Yep. I said what I said.
But yeah, I don't know about Chris Brown. I feel like he needs to just go now. Like, he's not
Yeah.
even doing anything great anymore. He should just go.
Yeah.
Niall, can you repeat this question into the mic for me? The baby has been saying a lot about the way black men are protected by the law.
Okay. So Sadiq is saying that the baby reports that black people are being, black men specifically are being protected.
Not
Oh.
being protected.
Oh, so the baby's commenting on the fact that the law isn't protecting black men in society. To that I say, that is very true, but black men specifically need to stop this narrative of they playing on my downfall, they're trying to keep a good man down. Homeboy, you're not a good man. You did bad things. So it's not the protection of society that you need to be seeking. You should be seeking God.
Yeah, find God.
Find God,
Find God.
homie. Because like it's such an old narrative.
But this is what I completely and totally hate about identity politics, where you can be a trash person, but once you
Yeah.
claim to be part of an oppressed group, all your sins are automatically forgiven because shame you oppressed and this is why you're acting this way. It isn't.
Or you come back and you're like, oh, I found God, whatever and whatever. Because how many people who have been convicted of like horrid crimes come back and they're like, oh, mental, like I wasn't by my full faculties, or now I'm saved, I'm a priest or whatever. Okay, cool, yes. So now you're on the
But that
path to
doesn't,
reform, but that doesn't negate all of
No.
the things you've done
Not at
prior.
all. I've said like a million times, mental health is not an excuse for your behavior, it's an explanation.
Yeah.
And if you say, like, there are so many white male serial killers. I'm watching this TV show on Netflix, Mindhunter. So good. Basically, this FBI agent, he goes and, like, he does interviews with a bunch of serial killers. And all of these white men have daddy issues, mommy issues, were abused at some point in their
Chris
life.
Brown said the same thing, by the way. It's like, my dad abused my mom. That's why I have like unhealthy ideas around relationships. Okay, well, yeah, but that's not an excuse.
It's also not my business.
Yeah, we need, like, I know every white man that shoots up a school, a church, or whatever, it's like, oh, he has a history of mental health.
That's
So?
nice. So do I. I haven't shot anyone yet.
Yeah. And why is it like, okay, if it's a white guy, let's look into his history, but if
Yes,
it's a
I'm
Muslim
so-
guy, it's like, oh no, Al
But
Qaeda.
This is also like what I'm so tired of. I'm so tired of going on Netflix and then there's some new documentary about
Yeah.
what some white person did that was dumb.
Yeah.
Then we must sit there and go, oh, but he was abused by his father.
Yeah.
Now that's why he killed like 70 girls. It's not his fault.
Guys,
Chris,
where does this leave Kanye?
sorry?
Where does this leave our opinion on Kanye.
Nothing.
Yeah, no, that's entirely other from this. What's your idea? Like, why did you bring up Kanye in this anyway?
Well, no, I mean, like we were talking. You need to repeat what I'm saying into the
Okay,
mic.
yes.
We were talking about mental health as an excuse.
But Kanye's not making it an excuse. He's
He
never
never-
made.
he-
He was
yeah.
like, I'm crazy. That's why I'm going on the
He
internet
purposefully
saying,
said also, like, quite a few times, he was like, I'm not crazy. Everybody just keeps saying I'm crazy. I'm not
Yeah.
crazy. He was clearly in the middle of a manic episode. When you're in the middle of a manic episode, there's no way that you are going to admit that there is a problem because you don't
Yeah.
see a problem because you're
Yeah.
manic. So I don't think that Kanye is like on the same level. But what I meant to say was that there's so many examples where we have to listen to what a white person
yeah.
went through and
They're
blah, blah,
given the
blah.
platform to explain themselves when other minority groups aren't even given that. Like, you're straight
Yeah.
to the chuki for you if you...
So it wasn't Chris Brown, sorry. It was the baby that said the thing about there isn't a
right.
space for black men in society
Yes.
and whatever.
Yes.
He has a point, but don't weaponize
Yeah.
your identity when it suits you because
Yeah.
you weren't opening your beck about the plight of black men before you were placed in a position
Absolutely.
where you fucked up and now you need an excuse. So, I don't know.
And also, like, let's not discount the fact that this system that is weaponizing the patriarchy is also the people who are perpetuating
Yeah.
it. So it's not whose
Exactly.
fault is it really?
Exactly. And 100% you can get to a point where you realize your position, you realize your privilege, you understand the impact of patriarchy and capitalism, and you become aware of all of these systems, and then you start changing the way that you do certain things. Because then you no longer want to be compliant in
Yeah.
these systems, you want to be like in active rebellion against them.
Yeah.
So he is fully within his right to have this like realization or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But it's convenient now for you.
It's
very
entirely convenient, and it's just a punchline coming from the baby of all people. Because it's not like he's going to do anything. Like, what did he do after that? What did he do? Do you know, Sadiq? Did he do?
The baby released a joint album with NBA Youngboy, which is actually doing crazy well.
So he made money off it. Is that what
Who
you're
is
saying?
that? Who's that
NBA
person?
Youngboy is like the biggest artist on YouTube.
Okay,
Is
is he gay? Is that why?
no, it's NBA.
It's what?
NBA Youngboy is like.
So I don't understand. Like, how
It's
did he
like
get
the-
away from the homophobic stuff? I thought the bro was
no,
gay.
he-
That's why it was
No,
like.
he was just cancelled,
No,
and
he
then
was-
conversations were had, and
And he's
then
not cancelled anymore.
Okay.
well, that's
Basically, like he's still popping off.
he's still. But that's the thing. You can cancel a celebrity, and it will last for all but 2 minutes, and then they'll release a track, and then it'll slap again. I mean,
I don't think that it's worthwhile to spend very much time on canceling celebrities
Yeah.
or to just be discussing celebrities in general, because while they may be a good example and they may cause discussion within the mainstream and cause an issue to rise, like, we don't need to have a conversation about the fucking
No.
elite class. We
No.
really don't. Like, I'm very unbothered by it.
it's a luxury to be able to discuss someone else's issues when there are like so many other things happening to minority groups.
There
around
is
the
the
world.
Keep the Energy Instagram page.
Yeah.
Where every
And Women for
every
Change.
single day there is at least one post about a woman in South Africa that
Or
has
child or baby.
been literally
Yeah,
that has been murdered, abused, raped, killed. So many.
Yeah.
So many stories constantly. But the minute one white girl in fucking Hollywood earning millions of dollars, when she experiences a microaggression,
Yeah.
then we must riot in her honor. No, I'm tired of it. We don't need these people as examples. They are
We
like,
have enough of them, yeah.
I'm so sick of like bourgeois like politics where we need to fight for why are we fighting for the elite
Yeah.
class? I'm so confused by this.
Yeah.
It makes me angry.
One of the many things that makes Taahirah angry. Just gonna say that.
No, but it's so stupid. To be like, what do you think about the whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation?
Woo! Okay, look. Amber Heard is a monster.
She looks sociopathic, doesn't she?
She does. And it's a horrible, horrible thing that she did to Johnny Depp. But like, you know what really annoys me? People are now pitting Jada Pinkett Smith with Amber Heard, and it's two entirely different conversations. Because this now it's breeding a conversation, and I saw this word on Facebook, and I was like, what? Toxic femininity.
Oh.
Men are calling out toxic femininity now because they are now women who are abusing men. Now, we're not going to say that men do not suffer from abuse from women in their marriages, from their mothers, or even sexual abuse in society. That is something that is rife. It happens. But we're already fighting for our like abuse against us because we there's a massive femicide happening in South Africa. We can't also fight for you. It's not our responsibility to fight for you as well. And let's be real, men do not come forward. How much ridicule did Will Smith get after that August Alsina debacle?
Yeah.
How much ridicule did Johnny Depp get when he first came forward? They were like, they didn't even believe him.
What's that guy's name? He was also experiencing like a divorce or something really bad. But it's a meme of this black guy crying. Like he was doing a video.
Tyrese Gibson, isn't it?
Yes.
From the singing show.
What happened with him? But he was also ridiculed for being emotional.
Yes, I think his ex-wife didn't want him to see the kids or something.
Oh.
But yeah, like, do you see these types of images of black men crying, but also men in vulnerable positions? They get weaponized, and then a conversation gets had around how women are responsible for this. Now, yes, in Johnny Depp's case, a woman was responsible, but it's not the woman's sole responsibility to dismantle the patriarchy system.
Also, I think this is where is again identity politics working on my nerves.
Yeah.
Because you can point out that there is a dynamic in which women are manipulative, and a dynamic where women often weaponize their femininity, and they often come across as these victims, these fragile little girls. Amber Heard was so good at playing that role. And there are lots of women that I've seen personally that have done... We know.
We knowing.
That play this card of, you hurt me, I'm fragile.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be vindictive.
Or I'm going to cry wolf now, and what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I'm going to be vindictive and manipulative. And because society is, and we have this new wave of Me Too, people are going to take my side because #believe all women, men are trash, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use that against you. There's 100% a conversation to be had about those things. But I would not say that is outside of the liberation of women and outside of that movement.
Yeah.
Because women are still very much part of patriarchy, and they are 100% capable of keeping and upholding patriarchy.
Yep.
And I think that's exactly what Amber Heard did. She played into this role of women are weak, women are unable to stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
I was taken advantage of.
How could you guys think that I did this? Like, I'm also a victim. No.
No, friend. Not at all.
No. Women are, by large amounts, we are the victims most of the time, but there is instances where we're the perps as well.
Yeah. And victimhood doesn't take away from you being a terrible person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a brown woman in the global south. Does that mean I can never be a cuck person? I can be a cuck person.
100%.
I've been a cuck person.
I mean, Chris Brown, abused from his father and his mother. He's living in an oppressive system. Now he goes... That doesn't mean that he's not a bad person.
No, not at all.
Exactly.
You can completely...
I'm making a lot of Chris Brown slander. But I can't stand him. I will never forgive him for what he did to Rihanna.
No, same. 100%.
That's not slander because you're speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just think that this conversation between men versus women, it's so ridiculous.
It's not. Yeah, it's not
ridiculous.
A versus.
Men suffer under patriarchy. Women suffer under patriarchy. Yeah. Let's just get together and fight the...
Yeah, but also men need to understand that they also need to start fostering spaces where they can feel comfortable to speak about their emotions, because they're the ones upholding this system that perpetuates and silences them when like they are victims. The reason we don't hear about abuse happening to males is because they don't want to come forward.
Yeah, but I
they
think
don't feel safe enough.
I
to
think
do
the
so.
Amber Heard situation is so eye-opening for a lot of people,
Absolutely.
because she outright said, like, stop being a fucking baby. You're just being a
Yeah.
baby. I didn't hit you. Like,
Yeah.
she fully went in on him, and she was like,
Yeah.
you don't have the right to, like, feel any type of way, because
Yeah.
I'm just a girl and you're a boy, so I can abuse you if I smack to. And
Yeah.
he still said in that voice recording, he was like, don't tell me what a punch feels like. You punched me. She was like, oh, you're just such a baby. You're being such a
Yeah.
baby.
Gosh.
Oh, it was horrible.
Gosh.
She's very sociopathic.
Sadiq is
I'm
laughing. I'm just saying.
You are an apologist, an abuse apologist, Sadiq.
Honestly.
I can't defend myself on the mic right now.
But yeah, like the fact that you're laughing also speaks to how ridiculous it is that men do suffer from abuse.
Yeah.
Yes,
They do.
Yeah. I think that it's annoying, and I think it's also adding to the problem when you create this image that women are always a victim, that women are fragile, porcelain little dolls
Yeah.
that are incapable of standing up for themselves or exerting their autonomy in any capacity. I personally find that extremely frustrating, because yes, I'm always in danger. Yes, I can never walk alone. During the night or day, I cannot think of one part of Cape Town where I'll be able to walk on my own.
Yeah.
But should I walk on my own, that is my decision to make. And I'm tired of being treated like and being like put in cotton wool and having to, every little microaggression is gonna, destroy my will to live. It's not.
Yeah.
I can fully stand up for myself. And this idea that women are just like victims all the time, it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
And
People
I
need
hate
to also
it.
stop perpetuating the don't go into dark places, otherwise you'll get like we can't prevent violence from happening to women unless we have the conversation around teach men to then do better.
Yeah.
Because we've taken all the preventative measures we
Yeah.
can take. Like right now there's nothing more we can do.
Yeah.
We have to start like going into spaces and feel safe without having to bring a pepper spray along, bring a friend along, go to the bathroom with a friend.
Yeah.
Like,
But you know what?
gotta be in peace.
You know what the reality of it is in South Africa? If you are being robbed or being assaulted,
Yeah.
there's your pepper spray and all that shit
Yeah.
is only going to cause more cuck.
Yeah.
Like there's no point in fighting it.
Yeah.
Like I've thought about this many times, like driving home at night. I've always thought like, if I get robbed, I just get robbed. Give it, move on. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because when you start fighting back, like no.
I was bit.
You were
Somebody robbed, like when I was younger, I was walking with my phone out. That was very imprudent of me. But anyways, I was walking and it was a brand new phone and this guy followed me into a gangetjie and then he started pulling on the scoobies of my phone and I had the phone in my hand and he bit me to get because I had like I guess adrenaline was going through my veins because I didn't want to let go of the phone. And he bit me to let go of the phone.
But you open.
Yeah,
Did you get a
like a
tetanus
huge
shot?
chew mark, yeah.
Ah. No, like so there's really no point in
No.
In fighting back. I think fighting back especially in the South African context is extremely dangerous. I was reading this article about gratuitous violence and the connection between gratuitous violence and inequality specifically in South Africa.
Oh, that's interesting.
Gratuitous violence meaning violence without a cause, without
I had no idea that was what gratuitous violence was, actually.
don't you always hear the BTV?
And gratuitous violence and explicit sex. But I was just like, it's violence.
No, it means like violence without a cause, without anything, like preempting it, just being violent.
What's explicit sex?
Oh, if you see boob action, like nipple.
Yeah.
So a side boob
Nude.
is okay, but...
Okay, why are we talking about this? Sorry.
Yeah, that's a tangent. But you were saying
Yeah.
about gratuitous violence and
Yeah.
inequality.
So they were saying that because of the massive, deep inequality within South Africa, people have very little to lose. So they will steal your phone and then stab you for no reason. And that's just the nature of crime in South Africa. It is directly related to violence majority of the time. If someone breaks into your house, the chances of them just robbing you and walking away, it's like minimum. That people are more likely to hurt you, not even for the sake of getting what they want, but for the sake of just letting out
I can't.
whatever.
I just can't buy that. Actually, like I don't think that
It was a
there's-
study. It was a
unless-
journal article.
Well, whoever wrote it needs to go back to the books because I can't buy that people are just gratuitously violent for no unless you're not by your full mental faculties and then
No, but it's because of inequality. It's because
but you
there's-
see, then it has a reason. It's inequality. People are angry. People are frustrated by the environment, and hence, therefore, I want what you have, and if you for having what you have, and I have to
exactly.
struggle.
Yeah, I think that's
There's
what
the
it is.
reason.
I think because of the massive gap of in inequality, people don't see each other as people.
Yeah.
When you see a tick-up running your way, you're not
Yeah.
like, oh my god, my fellow brother in arms.
No.
My
Stashing away all my goods, like
yeah,
no.
you're not like my brother in Christ.
Yeah.
There's none of that. It's like here's this.
Need to protect myself
Yeah.
immediately.
And I'm pretty sure that when people are committing like acts of crime, they're not looking at the person that they're robbing and being like, yeah,
that
you
guy
know?
didn't bite me because I looked nice. He bit me because he wanted my phone. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I think that like that inequality causes people to not see the other group as like human.
You know, I've been recently percolating on the idea. I read something years ago
I
on
love that
Twitter.
word, percolating.
I know, right? I saw this thread on Twitter where somebody was explaining how domestic violence is also a commentary on the inequality. If you think about it, men as like slaves and I'm talking from an American perspective now, like they were slaves, they were abused by their masters, they come home and they feel lesser than. So then they come home, most of the time they reach for the bottle and then they exert their masculinity, their dominance on their wives
On
and
the only
kids.
person that they can
That they
exert their
can
dominance
exert.
over, yeah.
And I mean, in a South African context, it's not a cut and paste, but it's similar to
It is
that.
similar, yeah.
I mean, if you live in an oppressive force and you can't do anything, you're going to try and express that dominance in the only way you can, and onto people and things you can.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it happens to be women and kids.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can completely see that being relevant in a South African
Yeah.
context. Like the cycle of abuse, it's like never ending.
Yeah.
It's so sad, especially in these like impoverished communities.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of the discussions that we have about like sexual abuse and gender-based violence are about women that are within our like social class, like people that have been at like university, people within our age range, and it's normal to relate and feel something for someone that is very similar to you, but the way that women in impoverished communities experience gender-based violence is so different.
Oh, yeah.
Like these are women that are unfortunately financially reliant on these men.
Yeah.
Women that can't leave because they won't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
Drug-infested, gang-ridden areas. Husband is either a gangster or a dealer. Like,
Yeah.
there are very few options in those societies.
There's barely an escape route, so you
Yeah.
just take it.
Yeah. And for a lot of women, so my mom works in like this research specifically of impoverished women experiencing gender-based violence and then suffering mental illness. And a lot of it is like they're not gonna leave, they're not gonna go, they're gonna stay there. It's not that bad. At least we have food, at least we can get by. It's not that bad.
That reminds me, oh my word. So I was on that Brown Confessions page on Instagram, and there was this one person who confessed something similar. Let me just find it.
Oh, I'm scared.
Just hold on. Hold on.
Oh my God, you screenshotted like so many.
Dude, there were so many that... Oh, here we go. So it's Confession 157. I'm going to read it out. It says, my uncle sexually abused me when I was 12 and he was 29. My dad doesn't know about it until today because when my mom found out about it about 6 months later, she said that he can never come to know about what happened because it'll cause problems in their marriage. For this reason, I wasn't able to go for therapy or counseling because it was something I had to hide from my dad. I sometimes think it's in the past and that I'm over it and I'm going to continue with my life, but I've also never even kissed or touched a guy after that. Like, this is how we gatekeep sexual assault in our communities. This is how it gets gatekept throughout generations. Because wat gaan die mense sê?
Yeah.
Fuck what the people are going to say. The people's puss, man. Like, really, like, we don't have the time to gatekeep abusers. Because then the cycle continues.
Yeah, that's horrible to read.
It's like, it crawls under your skin.
Yeah.
And everybody knows somebody who has a story like that.
There's not been one single friend group.
Not one.
But that's another reason that I'm so infuriated by this obsession with the elitist class and the struggles that they face.
Yeah.
They serve as example that these systems can affect even the highest classes of people, but I don't give a fuck about them when these are the examples of South Africans in our communities, in our circles that face these things. And for some reason, they do not cause us to have like Twitter wars about them. It's more about like, well, whose side are you on? Chris Rock or Will Smith?
Yeah, no, we don't have time to debate about that when we have unsung heroes in our own community who are just under the radar.
Yeah, and that was something else that I was going to speak to you about, like how identity politics, it doesn't apply to a South African context because our identities are so different and so... Yeah, like you can't cut and paste.
There's nobody like us anywhere in the world. Like, we can't find our likeness anywhere.
Yeah, so there's this like really cool subreddit. I'm so obsessed with Reddit.
Oh my word. I considered actually going through Reddit threads before like coming on this podcast because I was like, no, I know this bitch is going to bring up Reddit.
Of course. No, I love Reddit. I'm so obsessed with Reddit. I find Reddit to be one of the most engaging platforms, and it's very easy to have conversations with people because they really will.
It's really radical though.
Very.
It goes all the way there.
Very. Every single subreddit, the bio is, this is a Marxist-Leninist perspective on whatever.
I might be inclined.
I love it. So, they're speaking about identity politics. One of the subreddit, one of the threads asked, like, what is a third world country's perspective on identity politics? They were speaking about identity politics of, like, having a certain amount of black people in a role, having diversity and inclusivity in all of these movements, and they were speaking about identity politics in a Western American kind of way.
Okay.
And then the question was asked to people in third world countries, how do you experience it? And I said, because
you actually replied to these Reddit?
Girl, I'm on Reddit. I'm telling you. I'm upping my karma. I got an award.
I guess like if Elon Musk buys Twitter, we're going to all have to go to Reddit anyway.
For sure.
So
Allegedly, man, just trying to help with free speech, but I don't buy it.
Nobody cares about it.
So I answer and I say, within a South African context, it's very different because we need quota systems to correct the mistakes of apartheid. We need to have movements for diversity and inclusivity. It doesn't...
BE.
Yeah, BE, affirmative action. These are things that are necessary because white people still hold majority of the resources, majority of the power in our country. We need these things. And
we also need, like, apart from like an institutional point of view, we also need to see it. Like, we need to see it. You mentioned this, I think, the last time, but how many times do you walk into a cafe in Camps Bay and feel out of place?
Yeah.
We need to stop that feeling. We need 100%. To see more of our people. We need to feel comfortable in spaces that make us feel uncomfortable.
100%. So I was explaining the need for all of those things in a South African context, and then I also said what I have seen when it comes to identity politics in the Western way that you're explaining it is it filters into this newly the university educated, newly economically empowered group of people. Basically, our
That's
class
a
of people.
lot of words that like break me down here.
So basically, our class of people,
Okay.
where our parents were previously disadvantaged,
Okay.
suffered under apartheid,
Yeah.
didn't have the opportunities we now have.
Okay.
So we move into this class where we have an education, a tertiary education of some kind.
Born free with promise. Then.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we are now working in whichever, we're working like decent jobs. And we do make up a segment of the population that is unlike the majority. So majority of the population, 60% lives under the minimum wage. So
Yeah.
under like 3,000 rand a month.
Yeah.
60% of the population earns less than fucking 3,000 rand a month.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And then within our group of people, we no longer are able to relate to the lower working class. So now, and we still aren't within the elite class. We still aren't within like the white class
Bracket.
within South Africa. So we are still kind of in like a semi-class structure, class war, where we are still trying to fight against a higher class, but we're no longer concerned with the most marginalized. So
I just wanna like jump in there. What Taahirah is saying is that we're not trying to fight them to bring them down to our level, and we're not trying to, start a new race war. What we actually want to usher in...
What? Class war?
Class war, race war, cultural war. What we're trying to do is gain the same access as those upper classes, if you will.
Yeah, just the same opportunity.
The same opportunity, the same access.
Yeah. So, so I was saying, like, what ends up happening is that we then adopt these like Western identity politics into our class of people, because we are now within that sphere where we can relate to first world experiences of oppression, and we no longer like relate to the oppression of the people of majority of the people in our own country.
But oppression, like identity politics, it grows and manifests itself in different ways. Like we may not be experiencing apartheid the way our parents have, but we are experiencing a different brand thereof. It's a little more subtle, there's nuance to it, but it is essentially prejudiced against a kind.
Yeah. I mean, very little has changed since the ending of apartheid. Like nothing.
But the democracy is still very new, so it's like it's a fool's attempt to think that it's just eradicated. Like post 1994, yay! Now we're all just kumbayaing. That's not the case.
But what I see in like our class of people is conversations about things that we should discuss later on in a democracy.
Yeah.
Conversations about like
people are way too hasty and they want like quick results just like that.
Yeah.
The apartheid, racism as a system, it took super long to manifest itself in our parents' time. It's again, it's stupid to think that it's going to be eradicated within 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
That's like, it's a system of learning. You need to unlearn and correct institutionally, mentally, all the other spheres. I can't think of any right now.
My personal belief system is that we need to focus on the lower working class.
Absolutely.
Like, that's where focus needs to be. I am so sick of having conversations about like microaggressions. Although these are things that we experience, this is the oppression that we experience. It's not, for me personally, it's not something that's going to stop me from living my life. I will have a horrible interaction with a white person where I experience racism or whatever, but it's not as bad as the systemic racism that majority of our country is facing.
But microaggressions actually, they turn into macro. Like all of these small things add up to big things. Let me give you an example, right? Say, for instance, you have kids one day and you want to put these kids in a Model C school. Now, the headmistress happens to be a person in a different class and racial bracket as yours. And she's got, let's say, a Sally, a Fatima, and a Tembi, for instance, on her desk, who do you think she's going to, whose report do you think she's going to pick up first?
The white one.
Exactly. So, like, she already has that microaggression way of thinking. Before even having interviewed your kid, she's first interviewing the other.
Yeah.
Her pick.
Yeah.
So that means we need to overcome those barriers, like, before they even meet us.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's the access.
Yeah. That is like a massive problem. Like, there have been so many examples of how black people that are within like a higher economic class that are able to afford fancy apartments in town, in Sea Point, are told no.
I mean, like, remember when I told you about that instance where I was at a friend's house in Pinelands? She lives there, and we were just swimming in the pool, having a good time. There were so many other people at the pool, but as soon as everybody else left, a white lady came down and she was like, "Do you live here?" She wanted to see proof of like living there. It's disgusting. We have the right to inhabit spaces, but it's still being questioned.
Yeah. But I mean, like, those are definitely like issues that are worth talking about. And I hear like your point about the Model C school example.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I think that once we have control of the means of production, once things are
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a radical on our hands.
It's not even radical.
There we go.
Once things are nationalized, once we have access of our own resources, and we are not reliant on white corporations from overseas, these Anglo-American fucking companies, once, okay, hopefully corruption, fingers crossed, guys, please, but once we have those things, once the deep-rooted issues are resolved, I think white people won't have a choice. They are a minority in this country. They make up 6% of the overall population. If your schools are now flooded with black children from previously disadvantaged areas, say we're living in the Krisani, South Africa, where we have, inshallah, ameen, please, make it quick to
Let's have a moment of
in the last 10 days of Ramadan, please make dua that the revolution happens and Chris Hani's vision of South Africa is realized. I mean, inshallah, I mean, finished. Okay, so my point being, imagine this is the world that we're living in. And black people have access to these Model C schools. Black people are moving into university because now university is free. Black people have access to healthcare in this country. All of these issues that are holding us back and holding us down. What are the white folk going to do now? Are microaggressions going to matter at that point? Because they can't. We now have the power. They are the ones that must be scared and must be worried and must just move overseas.
So you think with power and power struggles is that there's always going to be an overthrowing that needs to take place. Now, currently what we have is a white supremacist power in place. They need to give that power away.
They're not going to give it away. Must be taken.
Regardless of how it comes to be. But that needs to happen. You can't just power just doesn't get adopted. It gets assumed. It gets taken.
Yeah.
So
100%.
that needs to happen.
They're gonna get a scarab.
Optimistically, it needs to happen willingly.
Power.
Exactly. They took it violently. Frans Fanon, the wretched of the earth. Please go and read it. The first chapter, at least, concerning violence. You cannot fight an oppressor that is innately violent without violence.
Yeah.
Sadly,
look what happened to Martin Luther King. He tried, but
then Obi was like,
got assassinated for it.
Yeah, no, but then he turned around and he was like, I know that I said, like, I just want to be friends with the white folk, but, like, I'm thinking, can you give us the resources again? Like, we also have that, please. Then I said, no, You talking your Malcolm X shit here? I'm coming for you. Kill this homie.
Malcolm X was Muslim also, eh?
Yeah, they're all slums. Come to the dean. And Jay-Z's a Muslim.
No, we don't.
No, listen.
Muslim.
That's it. Let me make my point. Okay, Jay-Z's a Muslim because he said
I would
on Donda,
love
the
if
first
Beyonce-
track of Donda, pray 5 times a day, so many felonies. Nah? Beyonce in Lemonade, what did she say? She said, I fell to my knees, I said, I mean, remember? First track. Tupac is a Muslim.
Yeah, Tupac's Muslim too.
T-Pain is a Muslim.
Busta Rhymes too.
Who
Come
else
to
is a Muslim?
Islam.
Who else? Swiss Beats?
Lupe Fiasco.
Who else is a Muslim? French Montana?
But we don't claim it. For the record, we don't claim.
French Montana is a Muslim.
Mo Salah is a Muslim.
Mo Salah. Kevin Gates.
Eunice Benjima? Eunice! Nom 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 nom.
Bella Hadid. Sometimes.
Homie can get it.
Baby.
Zayd Malik as well.
What is I gonna say? Like I was telling you, the T in T-Pain stands for Tawfiq.
For Tawakkal.
My point being, come to the teen. Because
Yeah.
Jannah is
It's
going to
great,
be
yeah.
lit. You're going to be in Jahannam lumming with who? Lumming with who? Who's fun there? You're not going to have nobody on your side.
Also.
Huh?
Hey?
Ice Cube.
Yeah,
Ice Cube!
Ice Cube too, yeah.
I'm just saying, guys, Jannah is going to be lit. Please come to the teen. Like,
If
just
you're struggling
imagine.
with your identity politics, consider Islam. It's great.
We're doing dawah out here now that Mufti Menk is cancelled.
Oh, well, can we please talk about that? Can we please
I actually don't know enough about that to talk about
I
it. but
can let you
Taahirah-
know.
But Taahirah
I
can inform me.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
So
So Mufti Menk, the Justin Bieber of Islam, according to...
the Justin Bieber of the slum, sir, is what I said.
What was the recent controversy with Mufti Menk?
Okay. So I don't personally, I don't like Mufti Menk. I don't like him. I don't like what he does because I don't think that dawah must ever be paid for. The fact that he is paid to go to certain mosques to give khutbahs, that to me seems ridiculous. Islam must not be elitist, not at all. I don't know where in the Quran, in the Sunnah, or what you came up with the idea that people must pay me to come speak about Islam. What? Weird. Anyway, and I
speaks
don't.
very beautifully.
He does. I've listened to a bunch of his things. I think he has like an amazing perspective and he says things and he's turned so many people Muslim.
Yeah.
Love it.
Ms. Link, Mufti Menk.
But it should not be something that is only available for elitists who are able to afford him coming to their mosque.
Yeah,
Because he
just follow him on
charges.
Twitter.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mans went on Umrah, then he came. Yeah, he went on Umrah, then he came to.
Ozil's also Muslim, by the way.
Who's Muslim?
He's that Ozil
Yeah.
soccer player.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Mufti Menk comes, then he goes to Dubai, and in Dubai he has a this like buka with a whole bunch of interfaith, leaders like Buddhists and Christians and Jewish people, blah 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 blah. And it's supposed to be about like love and peace, and we're all friends, spaces in the world, Rainbow Nation, we're all in it together, whatever. He goes and he sits next to the chief rabbi in Dubai, I believe. I believe that is his position. Rabbi Levi.
I'll double check.
Levi Itz. I can't remember. Anyway, this man was responsible for normalizing relations between Israel and Dubai and the UAE and like a bunch of these other Middle Eastern countries. He was also involved in Trump's executive order to say that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel.
Okay, so a bad man.
He's not fan, not good, bad. Mufti Menk sat next to him. They took pictures together, and people then called him out. Al Jazeera being the main organization, like news outlet, to break the story.
What
And
did they call him out for specifically?
for normalizing relations between Israel and Muslim people. Like, you shouldn't go and be sitting next to a Zionist. Because if this man is normalizing relations between Middle
But
East...
is he normalizing, or did he just sit next to the guy?
He sat next to the guy, but what does that photo op tell you? Like, what does
Okay,
that say
yeah.
to the Muslim world?
Yeah. Okay, I see the implications.
That we
yeah.
must, sit down with Zionists, and we must... I really dislike that way of thinking. There's something to be said about drinking tea with your enemies, slurping pooba with a Zionist, whatever. But for me personally, I don't think that we are we are at the point where we can sit next to a person that has done those things in Ramadan, when we are seeing Muslims being brutalized, worshippers being brutalized in Masjid al-Aqsa, where Gaza is being bombed, where the siege continues, where the West Bank, the settlements in the West Bank have continued, all of this stuff happening, and you sitting next to this man, and he does not bring up politics. He does not talk about it. So when I say that I'm fine with drinking tea with your enemies, so long as you are discussing the things that make you an enemy. But if you are sitting there next to a person, and all that happens is you get a photo op.
But how do you know they weren't discussing?
Because he said in his apology video, he said that if politics are happening there, it's not my business. I'm just there. Yeah.
Did he say that? I was like this close to trying to understand. But did he say that?
He did. Sorry, do you want to pull up the...
I'm hitting it with Google right now.
Yes,
Just go. Oh, it was on his YouTube.
Okay.
I think the name of the video was "The Oppression of Muslims."
Very spot on.
Good
Because
job.
while Sadiq pulls up the facts, here's what I think. I think that we shouldn't avoid speaking to other. Like, that's not the road we should be taking. That doesn't mean that we have to consider reconciliation and shake hands with our oppressors, because, like you said, that's not a way forward to overthrow an oppressive regime. But more conflicts can be solved, and I'm not talking about the Israel-Palestine conflict, but like other conflicts can be solved in understanding and open conversation.
Okay, let's see what the Mufti says.
Sorry?
Let's see what the Mufti...
It's towards the end of the video. Yeah, can you pause to me?
Yeah.
And they wrote whatever served their agenda, which I felt was very, very wrong. I didn't think so badly of Al Jazeera or others until I saw this article, and I said to myself, the person here doesn't know the damage that they're doing. Intentionally, they have misconstrued, misinterpreted, written a headline that's going to get across the globe that is so false.
This is
It
very the baby.
absolutely-
They're playing on my downfall.
I'm sorry, let me get more quotes.
Wait, I'm gonna get it. Yeah. Sonic search was Mufti Menk trouble. Google search. Oh God. No, man, Sonic, man.
That sounds like a great movie.
I'm gonna find the video. Where he says, what is it? It was like oppression or something. He's mad and he said this. Oh, yeah. Oppression against Muslims. This is the
Assalamu
video.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi
Let
wa
me just-
barakatuh, my brother. Busy thinking any shahada you can get is a gain. Subhanallah. Here we are showcasing the deen. The people of other faiths are not your enemies. They are the ones through whom you will get the shahadas. They are the ones through whom...
But nobody's saying that you mustn't go lam with people of different religions. They're saying don't lam with Zionists. You misrepresenting the facts, sir.
Now you see what you do.
You will get Jannah if you happen to work or you happen to showcase them the deen and understand. Another thing is when you have an enemy who is no longer an enemy, for example, because of, someone who hated Islam. I remember there was an old lady who said, I hated Islam, but because of the good teachings that I've now seen come from yourselves as Muslims, I no longer hate it, but I'm still not a Muslim. Well, that's a gain, isn't it?
We're still not talking about
You
this.
need to understand, no, it's not bad. For as long as you didn't compromise your Salatul Maghrib, you didn't compromise your days later, I saw these terrible articles, absolute rubbish. If you ask me, I don't even like to use that word, but it was totally unacceptable.
While
Totally
she
taken
does
out of
that,
context. They just got a picture
I think we
of
need to
the
stop
moment
normalizing
when-
this idea around this Muslims always have to be peaceful. Muslims always have to walk the straight path. Absolutely, our religion is about peace. But I'm so tired, especially with hijabis. I'm so tired of people gatekeeping and saying, "Oh, you have to be the picture of modesty, and you have to be this way, and you always have to put your best foot forward because you're a representative of a religion." Absolutely, that is true. But how I choose to portray my religious beliefs and how I choose to navigate my religion is a very personal thing to me. And that's my business. Other Muslims need to stop telling other Muslims how to be. Similarly to this, like he's saying, we always have to be peaceful. We always have to, make sure that other people get the idea that Islam
isn't a peaceful religion entirely,
don't
guys.
listen to Taahirah. It is a peaceful religion, and absolutely.
No, it isn't. How many of our prophets fought against oppressive regimes,
But the bottom line is that we're peaceful people. Look at the palace; is a perfect pinnacle of contentment and peace.
Yes,
we're for peace. Yes, we're for peace.
100%. I understand that point, but this
it's almost like a passive aggressive. Now you need to sit with somebody who blatantly hates your kind and take
They are 100%. When I say it's not a peaceful religion, I mean within a revolutionary ideology.
Yeah.
The example of Nabi Ibrahim, he did not sit and speak to people kindly.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, we're done, we're going.
Yeah.
The same thing as the Prophet, they fought battles. They fought battles over Islam. It wasn't. There are multiple examples of the Prophet also being a very very calm and very passive when it comes to non-Muslims and trying to convert them and trying to show them the beauty of Islam.
Yeah.
But when there is a force that is out to destroy you, your people, that is they've said they don't want Palestinians to exist. They are actively ethnically cleansing, genocide, all of these things. At that point, you don't sit down and have a conversation. Yeah. That's what upsets me.
Yeah.
That's what irritates me.
No, I agree.
Let's hear
just gave it a story that didn't even fit what happened on the ground. I hope that this clarification or this sort of narration of what actually happened is understood by the people who fear God Almighty. As for the journalists, I've given up a long time ago on most of them, because even the last time we had Muslims, people I know, who looked for the worst possible thing to say about a photograph, and they said it in order to gain popularity, in order to serve their cause, in order to bash a popular person, in order to find fault in what someone else is doing. That's all.
They cloud chase us.
The worst as a journalist. I can name some of these guys, and they know who they are actually. Dirty minds, dirty hearts and souls. Why? Come on, clean it, please. You have an Allah. You have not an Allah. You have Allah to go back to. Subhanallah. You have a Lord.
Pray for the journalists.
To go back to answer. Don't you fear the day you're going to die going to your grave? Subhanallah. If what's happening politically is happening politically, it's got nothing to do with me. Subhanallah. It can keep on happening.
No, Mufti.
We got it.
No, Mufti.
I'm going to put it back to normal speed and we can listen to this again.
Subhanallah.
Did he apologize for
What's
this?
happening politically is happening politically. It's got nothing to do with me. Subhanallah. It can keep on happening, whatever it is. We are
It can keep on happening.
Mufti, cancel.
No. Okay, so back to square one. We shouldn't cancel him, but we should also we need to educate him, and maybe he should actually go there and understand that you can't just sit look in the face of such mass human rights violation and say that's not me.
But that is what infuriated me about the situation. That's what frustrated me so much. Not the fact if he had gone there and me personally, if I was sitting next to that man, I wouldn't mind. It wouldn't be an issue. I would not disrespect a person regardless of how much I despised him. I would sit next to him and I would debate with him and I would make him understand that you're committing war crimes and you are committing human
Like,
rights
I
violations.
see you, we see each other, but we're not going to do this again, probably, mate.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, like, Salahuddin is one of my all-time favorite conquerors. Salahuddin is the homie. But there was this example. So you know, like the history of Salahuddin, right?
Tell me.
So
And the listeners.
at the at the time, Jerusalem was occupied by the Christian forces, and Salahuddin was coming with the Muslim forces to conquer and take back Jerusalem. Shout out to the homie. If you want, you must watch this movie, Kingdom of Heaven. It's amazing. Orlando Bloom is in it, and he says Assalamu alaikum in the movie. I died.
Bloom.
I died.
Okay.
It was so. Anyway, so Salahuddin, he was on his way to conquer Jerusalem. So he meets the Christian forces, and at the time, the king, he was suffering with leprosy and he was dying. And they meet on the battlefield. Obviously, the king does not come because he's sick. And Salahuddin says, I will send my doctors to come and see what they can do for your king. This is his direct enemy. He's planning to go and he's planning to fight these people on the battlefield with swords and horses, the whole business. But he still has the grace to say, even though we are enemies, I don't want us to be enemies.
At which point did Orlando Bloom say?
So Orlando Bloom he fights for the Christian side, but like he's also very sympathetic. He doesn't like war. He's cute, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, in the movie, he walks past Salahuddin at some point, and Salahuddin says, Assalamu alaikum, and he replies, may peace be upon you too. And then at the end of the movie, see Salahuddin again, and he says Assalamu alaikum, and Salahuddin says, may peace be upon you.
Okay, so back.
Yeah.
So circling back, why are you bringing up this story?
Oh, I'm bringing it up because Salahuddin is a great example of someone going to fight an oppressor, going to conquer, but still having grace
And respect for your opposition.
So 100%, we don't need to disrespect each other on a human level.
Yeah.
We may disagree
Yeah.
vehemently when it comes to politics, but we can
Yeah.
respect each other on a human level, 100%.
Yeah.
But they were not having a discussion about the falls of Zionism and the issue of Zionism and the oppression of the Palestinian people. As he said in that video, if politics is happening there, it's not my business. That is the issue that I take with that. And him going and be like, oh, pray for the journalists. May Allah guide them. No, don't come here with your arrogance. Oh.
I don't even have words. I don't even have the words. I'm so disappointed.
Yeah. Do you want to read some Brown confessions before we...
I think I'd like to speak about in regards to Muslims. You know how we get stereotyped? Like
Sadiq is talking
but
about being
Muslim
stereotyped in Islam.
going to eating samosas,
Yeah.
buying booba and whatnot. Are we okay with that? Like,
I don't find it, like, back to Taahirah's identity politics conversation, I don't find issue with having certain things, having certain associations made to me, but this is me speaking as Niyaal really. Like, I don't mind if people assume that my mommy made booba on the 15th or that I have like samosas in my freezer at any given time during the year. I do.
Get married young?
If you...
But look, stereotypes come from truth though. The truth is that a lot of us get married young.
My issue with stereotypes, I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
If you have a certain idea of what a certain group of people does, fine. But do not hold me to it. Do not expect it of me. Do not make comments like, Taahirah wears the samosas.
That, and also I think where you're going with the Sadiq is where people take like an other perspective to it, like they ridicule us for getting married young or having like an older way of thinking, or almost like their way is better and we're doing things in a way that is not I don't know, mainstream, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
because the truth is there's many ways to feed a bird.
Top in the bag.
You know?
Do you know what? Do you get that reference? You don't get that reference. Top in the bag. Feed
Yeah.
the birds, top in the bag.
Yeah, so
Do you get that reference?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So your way isn't always the right way, and I can teach you my way, but again, it all needs to be in a space of mutual respect.
100%.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Brown confessions, let's go.
Oh, okay. Let's do some. I screenshotted a lot because
I'm going to preemptively say in response to it,
stuff.
find God.
Yeah,
Find
just
God.
let me just preface this with saying there was so much incest. People in Ramadan. But okay, to be fair, not all of these people are Muslims, so also just gonna say that.
And it seems like this is not happening in Cape
Oh, this
Town.
one's a hectic one. This one says, my cousin taught me sexual acts when I was 7 and I molested my brother when he was the same age. I don't know what to do because none of us have ever spoken about it to anyone, but I think it's affecting his learning and stuff. Bro, what did you think? And stuff. My cousin taught me sexual acts. My friend, you were molested too. Go and seek
You
help.
abuse your brother.
Seek help, Kanala.
Find God.
You're a victim.
Oh, we're going to give advice on
We're
this.
not, no. Look, I also want to say this. I'm not here to judge anybody on what they have said and done because we are all sinners in the eyes of God. But some of you have a bitchy scammed, man. Like, well, be scam, but you don't confess things to the internet because yo. Okay. Oh, this one's a good one. I come from a strict upbringing and I've never really had a lot of interactions with females. I hate when guys call us females, just as a side note. Now that I'm in university, it's a bit hard to communicate with females and find a spouse. And I think I found one not looking for the same as me.
What?
And if I think I have found one, they're not looking for the same thing as me. So this is something that's very common among the community where, like, you come from a very strict upbringing, especially like in religious spaces. You're like you're not really taught to the courtship ways, and then all of a sudden in university you're expected to produce a spouse.
Yeah.
How sway, you never allowed me to go out. I've never spoken to the opposite sex in my entire life. But now you want grandbabies? Like you don't just go from one thing to the next.
Yeah. And I also don't like the idea that like you have to have shared values to start like
Yeah.
I don't like the idea that you need to force someone to have the same values as you.
Yeah. Like this confession, they didn't really say whether it was a man or did they say a man or a woman?
Females. I'm looking for a female.
Yeah. So now it gives the idea that you're looking for somebody on your level. Do you realize that women aren't accessories?
Yeah, that's why
We're not a pair of Jordans that make you look good.
Yeah, please.
Like, bro. Oh, no, that's goodie. I dated this girl for 3 years and we slept together and eventually she got tired of me and wanted to get married because she got a proposal. And now she's divorced because her husband found out she wasn't a virgin. Guys.
What is this obsession with like having a pure girl but you being a hoe yourself?
Look, I'm all for protecting one's modesty and absolutely abstain from zina. Do it if you can. But if you don't in your own right, don't you come and police.
I know so many boys like that. I know so many boys.
Yeah, so you want to just go hoe and then you want to go marry a
But she
pure
must be
girl.
solid, a
And then
pious little girl.
you divorce this girl. Like, she was good enough for you. So you're basically what this implies is that
Only
the
when
only
he found
good
out.
thing,
Also, when he found out.
yeah, it implies that the only good thing about her was her modesty. Stop commodifying women's modesty, people. Like, a wife is more than just this. Please. This one's a goodie. I'm a 20-year-old male and I haven't recovered from the trauma I've experienced. Last year I was robbed by 4 males. They tied me up and one of them sexually assaulted me. I need therapy, but I'm too afraid to ask. Now,
Sister.
this is again the conversation that needs to be had around men seeking help. The patriarchy is working against you too, guys.
It really is, guys.
Start being honest about your feelings. Stop gatekeeping and telling your friends that things are quote unquote gay when they are going through
Guys,
things.
not everything is gay. Oh my god.
If you find that your friend is in a rut, in a sad place, do not, for the love of God, take him out clubbing.
No.
Just, start having honest
Hookah pipe is
conversations.
not the solution to trauma.
We move.
Vibes is not the solution to trauma.
It's not the solution.
Seek help.
Seek
for real.
help.
There are lots of free counseling services.
Yeah.
We should actually put it in like the video description. Like
Yeah.
counseling services.
Get help,
There's
men.
lots of free counseling services. Rape crisis. Rape crisis is not just for women. You can go to rape crisis as well. I think they offer you 10 free sessions, after which it's like 100 rand per session. Could be wrong. We'll put the details in the description.
We want you to do better for us and for you.
Yeah.
Get help.
Seek help, find God.
Okay. Confession 140. Loki hate my husband for making me stay in the same yard as my in-laws.
Guys, you need to listen. I know it's like for some reason it's Muslim culture to just live with your family.
It's not only Muslim culture.
Don't live with your family, okay? I know it's hard. I know the houses are expensive. Apartments are expensive. The economy is junk. Move out. Move out, friends. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't marry your in-laws. Just don't do it.
Oh my word.
But economics, like, for finance.
Okay, one last one. As a Muslim boy, it's sad to see how almost all Muslim girls, especially hijabis, hug colored white and black men like it's nothing and still want good, clean boys to get married to after university.
Oh my god, you hugged someone, you hoe.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe this.
You hugged a black person? Hoe.
People.
You hugged a white one, a brown one, and a black one.
And now you still want to marry me?
Now you want
a
me?
good, clean colored boy?
Me. I've never even seen people before.
Sagre blue astag. Truly, guys, you
I've
again.
never looked at a person in my life.
Stop
I've
gatekeeping.
always lowered my gaze. My gaze stays there. I don't ever look up, never ever. And you just hugging people. You hoe-ass bitch.
Okay, this one is actually a difficult one. It says,
Trollop.
I was dating a girl for a year and we broke up. I think she's getting married now and I hold so much. I think this person meant animosity. Learn how to spell. Towards her. Her panties are still in my room and her pictures are still on my phone. I want to do some damage.
No. No.
She will, I hope if you did, I hope she files a lawsuit against you. You are a menace. Don't even seek help. Just
Delete,
go.
control alt delete yourself.
Just
No,
go.
don't control alt delete yourself. I didn't mean it like that. I meant like your badness.
Yeah.
Delete that.
Just, guys, stop, women's nudes. First of all, just don't spread it out your
Also,
friend groups.
it's embarrassing for you. Like if you are
Why do you have
leaking.
pictures of your ex on your phone?
No. But if you are leaking nudes and being like, ha, look at this girl. You the one that looked at the pictures and enjoyed it. Loser, nerd.
And we're not going to talk about, women should stop sending nudes. Let's not
Never.
pretend that you guys don't ask for it.
And also you weird about it. You weird about it. It's like, yeah, look at my tully. And then you send it. You send pictures of your tully. When I was in high school, it was still Mixit days. Remember how in Mixit you would have like categories for your contacts. So you would have like boys, girls. Remember that? Or like friends, whatever. So I was in the girls category of one of.
I would hope so.
Yeah, and then this boy sent a picture of his tully to everybody under girls by mistake.
Nah, I don't think that
all
was a mistake.
Maybe not.
No.
He also is tully. Now, listen. Nobody ever wants to see a tully. No, never. That's why the tully goes in because you don't want to see it.
Allegedly.
I'm sorry, it's wrong with that. Please, yeah, nobody wants to see a tully. That's just how it goes.
No, we don't.
But yeah,
But also, nobody wants to see your ex-girlfriend's nudes, and you should stop looking at it.
and I don't
too.
know why you think that it's like embarrassing to expose her like that when you were the one jacking off to the pictures in the first place. You nerd.
Yeah.
You have it on your phone still, and now you're like, oh, let me get
And
back
the
at her.
panties. Sir.
Something's wrong with you, my guy.
Be shy. Be
Yeah,
a little
oh my
shy.
God, guys, be shy on the internet, okay?
Please just be...
I know I'm not shy.
Don't just DM random
No.
girls.
They can trace that. I'm sure that people are sending it from their Instagram accounts, not even making burner accounts.
Yeah.
Guys, protect your modesty.
Lower your gaze. Be like that other guy in the other confession who was like the brown girls are hugging white men. Be more like that guy. You two become friends, please.
In conclusion, seek help, find
Seek
God.
help, find God. Come to Islam. It's nice.
The T in T-Pain is for
Tawakkal.
Peace out.